think about what we could do to support someone am Mlwyddyn Deg.
From Carmarthenshire to a classroom in Ysgol Calon, Cymru, Steffan Evans grew up in a rural community, and the lack of diversity around him growing up led him to feel like he couldn't fully express himself as a gay man.
It was a very isolating experience. I wouldn't say it was a negative experience, it was just isolating. It felt so lonely, and it still does. I mean, I'm 30 and it can be quite lonely sometimes.
Now Steffan puts inclusivity at the heart of school life so that his students, LGBTQ+ or not, don't have a similar experience.
There can be a lot of difficult opinions in a rural community, and especially that can also lead into the school.
You've got to follow the pack around here, but in the school, and then like if with the new inclusivity, we could try to be more ourselves.
It's difficult to get different opinions on things because we're quite closed off from everywhere else, and I think that in school particularly it's really important.
Wales has the highest proportion of people who identify as lesbian, gay or bisexual of any UK nation. But Stonewall say whilst those statistics are encouraging, too many people still feel unsafe being themselves. Meet Pat. She lost her son Kevin to a heroin overdose in 2017, 2 days after his 32nd birthday. He was one of 2 children Pat and her husband adopted from an early age.
And the fact that he was locked away was entirely because of the the criminal associations, well, the actual criminality of what he was doing and the stigma attached to that. But I think, if there'd been less stigma and possession for personal use wasn't a criminal offence, he would have sought treatment earlier.
Pat has since dedicated herself to fighting for drug policy reform in his memory, but says it's important to separate drug users from drug dealers.
If this is a question about selling the stuff, especially in large quantities, and supplying it, that I certainly wouldn't shirk from a fairly serious punishment of people involved in that. They don't care how young or vulnerable the people they sell this drug to are.
Well, unfortunately, the budget is very challenging at the moment, and I think it's important to make sure that what the budget goes to is absolutely for the right reason, so you can see the benefits to so many people. Unfortunately, we'd all love more money to be able to give it to further classes. I've just had a quick conversation with the Chief Executive about the funding coming to an end.
Someone who knows the benefits more than most is instructor Naz Khan. She's visually impaired, and the classes have given her a valuable opportunity.
Exercise is for everyone, and it's not just the physical benefits. I think for me, a lot of it is the mental benefits that you get, mental health benefits that you get from exercising. It doesn't matter what age and what background you're from. I think exercise should be accessible for everyone. So I think it would be a great loss for everyone if we lost this funding.
As the Welsh Government try to balance their public spending, for these women, these sessions can be life-changing. Daniel Bevan, ITV News, Cardiff. The Bluebirds went into the early kick-off in search of their first league win of the season, but it wasn't the start that Errol Bullett's side would have been praying for. New signing Jesper Darland fell awkwardly, twisting his ankle in the process. The Norwegian international was forced off just before half-time. It was a passive first half in truth, both sides looking not to repeat their midweek defensive performances. Finn Aziz, with this effort, was the only chance for the visitors early on. Both sides waited until the second half to get going. Aaron Ramsey coming close for Cardiff, denied by Luke Ayling on the line, and then the post, and then Luke Ayling once again. It was Borough who broke the deadlock though, Matt Clark converting Aziz's corner, a second goal in as many games for the centre half. Cardiff pushed on, but they couldn't find a way back. Late on, their fate was sealed when Morris's shot took an unfortunate deflection off Ramsey to take it past Ethan Horvath in the Cardiff goal. Another blow for Errol Bullet, whose side is rooted to the bottom of the Championship after their worst start to a campaign this century. Elsewhere in the second tier, Swansea lost to West Brom, and also in League One, Wrexham are up to second after beating Peterborough, and in League Two, Newport won on the road against Morecambe.